Hello again, I'm back with another book today. This is my first official design team project for Artymaze. I've done guest design team projects before, but I'm actually going to be doing more regular ones now. So that'll be great fun because I really love Andrea's kits. I started with the Asian Fusion kit, which I think is just stunning. I love the colours. Mainly Japanese from what I can tell, and visiting Japan is absolutely on my bucket list, especially when the blossom's out. I'd love to go, so maybe one day. So I just loved playing with this kit. I had in my head I wanted to do a book with old vintage book covers. I'm very lucky that I have access to quite a lot of vintage books. My father-in-law collects vintage book plates. So if you can't save the book, he takes the book plate and gives me the leftovers. So I have some lovely old papers and I have some lovely book covers that I've been dying to do something with, and the colours just lent themselves brilliantly for this. Binding it has been a bit of a headache. What I've done, I've tried various different things. I took one of these to bits, but it just looks too mechanical for the theme. So at the moment I've got it on, these are silk, this is silk cord, and it actually works. It's a wee bit wobbly with it, but it works really well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in various size rings. These are lovely beads that came off the same scarf as this chiffon, so it's the same material on some of them. So, because what I had tried is I'd split it into two books, so the front pages went on the little rings and the back pages went on the big rings, and that worked really well. But these rings are even too small for the whole book. So to keep it as one book, I've put it on the cord, and it like I say, it works really well. But I'm going to include these rings as well. I thought that would hopefully solve the problem. But I like the way it sort of moves quite nicely on these, and certainly you can loosen these off and you can tighten them up depending on how you wanted it. So I've tied it with a chiffon, which, like I say, was a scarf. But I loved the pink. The pink's almost like a cherry blossom, and the green matches really nicely with it all. So that just comes off. So yeah, you can see it ended up quite chunky. I basically started with a big book at the back and worked my way up to smaller books. And I do love the way it turned out, even though, like I say, binding it was a bit of a headache. And like I say, it does move a bit, but I think with the style of how it works, I like it. I think these work the best. The rings are perfect if you're happy to split it into two books, but these definitely have worked the best, and I think they look nicest as well because I've just left them loose. So right, we'll get started at looking through it. So I'll tip it up that way, and you can see it's a wee bit loose, but it does hold together really nicely. And because of the type of journal it is, I've tried to fit in as much writing space as I can. So there's lots of tucks and things slid in behind pictures, and I've put in various handmade papers to give as much journaling space as I can, considering the type of journal I've gone for. Right, so I'll just try not to knock the camera. So the front is started obviously with a little tiny book, and we've got our first little tuck here. So there's a lovely image of a kingfisher from the kit. Everything in this book is from the kit. I've not added anything. There's a little bit of washi tape, and other than that I've not added anything other than fabric. So I've got another wee card here, so when you put that in, it gives you a different picture in the front. And we've got a wee fabric pocket here with some of the lovely wee tea cards that come with the kit. I love these wee birds. So these come in the kit. They're two big sort of shipping tags type things. What I've done is I've backed them across a book front and connected them together at the top and made them side pockets. So both of them have a little dangle and a little journaling card in the side. So there's one in the front and there's one in the back. But obviously you can journal on here as well. This is lovely handmade paper I had that it was inside, like I got it in the charity shop and it was inside a little cellophane packet, and when I took it out all the blossom fell off, but it left this lovely indent of the blossom on the paper, which I thought was lovely, so that worked really well in here. And I've just attached as much journaling space as I can, so that's from the kit, and I've just connected it with a paper clip, and that's more handmade paper underneath. It's so difficult to make sure I'm in frame because it's such a big book. So this is a really old book cover. This is leather, and the red just looked lovely with the colours in the kit. So it's got a journaling card behind it like that, and I've used this lace which I thought had a kind of cherry blossom look about it, and the colours, this is the original marbling paper. I've done nothing to the book other than gesso, and it's lovely. So we've got another wee card behind here. And more of this handmade paper with more little sheets of tea-dyed paper. Again, little journaling spots. And they tea-dyed really nicely. They came out with lots of different colours in them, so they were lovely. And this is another leather book cover, which again, there was an image to go perfectly with it, and another journaling card behind that. So I've put a big pocket made of lace on this one, and you could journal on here, but what I did is I made little books out of the smaller images you get with the kit, and I used, it's a type of Japanese paper called Tomo River paper, so I think it's 56 GCM? No, I can't remember how you measure the paper weight, but it's really thin anyway. And I've tea-dyed some of it and left some of it plain, but it's very strong and it can take fountain pens seemingly. A lot of travellers' notebooks are made with it. I use a Jiven Techno daily planner, and it's made of the same paper, and it's lovely, and nothing bleeds through it or anything, considering how thin it is. But I think it went really well in here, so I could add quite a lot of pages without adding bulk. It is GSM, isn't it? GSM, that's how you measure the paper. So this is like, this paper is 220 and the Tomo River paper is 56. So that shows you the difference in thickness. So this page is an image from the kit made into a flip, and you get this big tag with it as well. And this wee envelope, which again I've left open again so you could journal in there. And this is the little card that goes with it. Oh, fingers and thumbs the minute I turn on the camera. And again, you could journal in the back there. This is more handmade paper I've used. This has got stitching through it, which is just lovely. And I've attached a wee journaling card there. This is a fabric page. The doily was perfect size for a page, and I just put 2 pockets in it with little bits of ephemera from the kit. Some wee tea cards. And one of my favourite images on there. So that just comes over like that. So I've done a little bit of collage from bits on here, but I've just left this with that image, because what I did is I made a big pocket on the back of this one with a big doily. So the bottom half of the doily is attached to the book, and I've tied it with ribbon at the top and the bottom to make it into a pocket. I think I will put a wee pin here as well. And I've made another wee book to go in this Got a time card made into a page here, and I made a wee flip using the tickets. And then when I went to attach this, I realised obviously it wasn't going to be a flip. There was a hole here, so I just tore it, and I love the way it turned out. So happy wee accident. And here we've got another pocket with another wee book. I've printed some of the images onto, oh yes, that's a wee book, but an extra journaling spot as well. I printed some of the images on newsprint, so that works really nice as well. It gives it a very vintage look, because that's the, you can see the difference there. You get a really lovely vintage look by putting it on the newsprint. But that is stitched together. I just popped it inside there for extra journaling space. We've got lace down here with some journaling cards here in little glassine bags, and there's a little bit of embossing, not embossing, oh, can't remember what you call it. See, the minute the video goes on. No, it's completely gone. It is embossing, embossing powder. It is embossing. So I was right. And there's some texture paste up here, and this is actually a little pocket which I will try and remember to put something in. And we've got an envelope here, which again I've left open. I added some extra journaling space in here. And that's attached with a little Tim Holtz pin. And another sheet of handmade paper. And this is ledger paper that I've tea dyed. This is really old. I got this in an antique place. Lovely big pages. And they tea dye brilliantly. And then the back one has a big pocket with just some journaling spots from the kit. I think probably my favourite page is the fish, the blue fish. And then right on the back, we have 2 journaling cards, and I've embossed this as well. We'll turn that round. So it's a bit like rings in that the knots are at the top, obviously, when you're finished, and you would just move them down. Like you would the rings, you would move the, when you've got a ring binder, you would move this bit to the back to make it flow better. So it's the same with these, you would just move the knots down to the bottom to make it easier to move. But hopefully I was in frame enough for that. It was it's such a big book, it's quite difficult, and I really have to work on a better setup for filming. Thankfully my cats are all sleeping at the moment, but I have 3, so trying to find somewhere that they don't interrupt me is quite difficult. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, it was a little bit different and binding was a bit of a headache, but I actually really love what I ended up with. So thank you very much for watching.